The 18th installment of the annual October Transport Month campaign has been launched in Midrand in Gauteng. It's showcasing the major milestones and achievements in the development, upgrade and maintenance of transport infrastructure. The campaign is being led by Minister of Transport, that's Sindisiwe Chikunga, and all related stakeholders in the sector. We catch up with SABC News reporter Hasina Gori and video journalist Kwazi Manzi for the latest on the launch. Good morning to you, Hasina. What is in fact the latest coming from there?
Good morning. We are coming to you live from the SA Taxi headquarters here in Midrand, where the Department of Transport is launching the Transport Month, which begins on a Sunday. That is, October is usually the month where the Transport Department focuses specifically on various different modes of transportation, as well as what are some of the highlights and challenges that the industry is facing. We spoke earlier on when we last spoke. We were speaking with the minister who explained to us the themes for this year, as well as what the focus would be on. Right now, we are once again with the ministry. We're going to bring in the deputy minister and get more information on what we can expect to take place over the next month. The transport industry has been one that has plagued with various different challenges around the public transport sector. There's also been natural disasters that have affected various different modes of transport. We've seen the taxi industry also go through some challenges, as well as e-hailing services that have been disrupting some of the traditional forms of transportation. We've also seen recovery modes for various of the different transport modes, such as the maritime as well as aviation. But I want to bring in now the Deputy Minister. Thank you so much for speaking to us. We're here today, ahead of that launch that's starting on Sunday of Transport Month. We've heard that the theme is Siaka, which is building together. Can you just expand for us what we can expect from Transport Month?
Thank you very much to you and your viewers. Good morning. Well, Transport Month is an annual event where, as the Department of Transport, we take this month to expose what transport is all about, showcase our achievements, also show people what we are doing in terms of all our transport sectors, which we have articulated now: roads, maritime, aviation, and others. So we can expect a lot of activities where we'll be launching new projects of new roads, strategies, policies that we will be unveiling. So that what will be happening across all 9 provinces. We do not only do it as a national department, but we do it with our entities, we do it with all our provincial departments of transport. So in a nutshell, that is what we can expect.
Mm-hmm. We know that this industry, as you mentioned, is quite a vast industry. It also goes into daily commutes for people, but also business. Let's start with the daily commutes. For those that are using our road services, there's various challenges faced. How do we ensure safety on the roads for those that are using it, both public transport but also private citizens?
I think firstly, starting on safety, you have just mentioned, we have just witnessed, unfortunately, death of many people in Limpopo, in Western Cape. Our heartfelt condolences go to all those provinces. But as a department, it is what we are always calling people, that we need to join hands in terms of dealing with road safety. The recent constitutional pronouncement on the ARTO Act, making it constitutional, for instance, is one attempt that we are doing as a department to make sure that we bring stability or law and order on the roads. In terms of road infrastructure itself, a lot will be spoken about later by the Minister of Transport, but we'll be launching a couple of projects that result in improving our road infrastructure. We are relentlessly, sleeplessly closing all potholes. There is serious improvement. But however, climate change remains a challenge. We have seen the devastating floods recently in the Western Cape, while we are still recovering from KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape. So what it means is that as a transport sector, as we build roads, we cannot build in the old way. We need to find what are the new technologies. How do we circumvent such as we go forward? So public transport itself, it's something that we are very much concerned about, and we really call on people because we cannot do it alone.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to public transport, we're not just talking about the minibus taxi industry, we're also talking around the buses, the services, as well as your trains services. We've had disruptions of the Ria Vaya, just in the last few days with passengers not being able to use the buses. How do we expand and ensure that, people are, able to use the public transport that they rely on, especially our most vulnerable communities?
It's broader than just using of transport. Let's talk about the vandalization that we saw in a couple of years. People who vandalize infrastructure are people amongst communities. So we need communities to take responsibilities and protect their infrastructure. In terms of what happened recently in Ria Vaya, also in the city of Tshwane, where the city could not reach an agreement with the unions there, we saw a disruption of bus services where the most vulnerable. So it's something that concerns us as a department, and we continue to encourage all those who are affected, be it unions, be it local or any other sphere of government, to find amicable solutions that do not affect the most vulnerable, because these are the most vulnerables.
You spoke on technology, and given it's 2023 and there's so many different new advances when it comes to technology, how is the transport department using that when it comes to transportation, when it comes to e-hailing services, but also using electronic cars and vehicles? Are these some of the projects that will be spotlighted and that being highlighted by the department?
Certainly. We have just recently published a green transport strategy. That green transport strategy, where people are commenting on the ambitious plans that we have, particularly the move towards electric vehicles. It's something that is big, that is happening, it's a reality. So in our green transport strategy, those are some of the things we are highlighting. We are also talking about sustainable aviation fuels, because those are some of the things. We are also talking about usage of drones. We are also talking about vehicles that are self-driven. All these things are in the green transport strategy, and it's something that we are working on, and those things will be highlighted and showcased during this Transport Month.
Talking about the environment as a whole, one of the issues and concerns around the transport industry specifically was cutting down their carbon emissions and ensuring more green energy. And as you mentioned, the green paper that is being published. How has been the strategy here in South Africa and adaptation by citizens when it comes to things like pushing for more bicycle usages? Have we seen an uptake with citizens when it comes to more greener, efficient technologies?
The uptake is not as encouraging as it should be. And again, because if you look at South Africa generally, we've got a very unequal society. And therefore, the priorities and the demands in terms of the fiscus become overstretched. Do you go and put down infrastructure for cycling vis-a-vis putting infrastructure where people don't have a road? Those are the challenges that which the well-developed countries are not facing at the moment. But what are we doing as a department today? For instance, part of the program will be handing over bicycles to students. So this is part of us encouraging usage of non-motorized transport. We will be doing it across all 9 provinces in this month. But we would like to see more people leaving their cars at home, jumping into a train or clubbing together and going together, so that we can reduce carbon emissions in line with what we have set ourselves.
One of the criticisms we hear a lot when it comes to some of the issues of public transport is that safety or the network does not speak to each other. Has there been more development around ensuring that from when someone leaves their home to where they need to go, that there is a complete integrated public service system?
Our plans suggest that, but practically we are not there yet, but we are working towards that. We have developed what we call integrated transport plans for every city, and particularly the major metros, where we want a person to seamlessly move from home to their place where they are working or they are going to do their business of the day. That, I believe, will achieve by, for instance, an integrated fare collection system that we will be rolling out soon, in terms of making sure that you don't need to use a train using different form of payment, a taxi and so forth, so that we can make sure that people are able to move from one mode to another seamlessly, for instance, using a seamless payment system.
Thank you so much. That was the Deputy Minister of Transport speaking to us here at the launch of Transport Month, which is expected to begin on the 1st of October, which is on Sunday, speaking to us on some of the developments we can expect to be highlighted throughout that month, speaking on green energy, on integrated systems, as well as just the infrastructure plans that they have.